Alrighty guys, so I've been working a little bit off camera on a few things, and I've got a couple of updates to give to you guys. First of all, I swapped out all of these barrels from drawers to the item barrels from Yaba. I've never used them before, but Yaba is actually really nice. I really like it a lot. I do like the fact that you can store a lot more items in them. You can also skin them, which I've done. And you might notice this weird thing. This is an item barrel connector, and it does exactly what you probably think it does. It hooks up all of these as one single unit. As you can see, the one probe up here is reporting all of these items back to us. What else have I done? Done a little bit of mining here and there, trying to pick up some copper, and I've upgraded almost all of my storage to something greater because I've been exploring a lot and found some more storage crates, and yeah, been running out of space, so I figured go ahead and do that. And the last thing is I built up a new place. So it's not completely done. This is, we're not moving here either. This is just going to be another building. So as you see, we have a back door now because of this place. And other places that I'll probably end up building out here in this big old pasture, in this big area out here. So we have a nice big area, and the reason is because there's a lot of multi-block crafting and a lot of multi-block stuff that we need to get around to that we haven't yet, and we don't have a really good space for it. And I figured this would be a good space for it. So the first thing that I wanted to get into today was we have all of these machines, and they're working out lovely. I want to get a few more machines from thermal expansion. I want to end this episode on the note of at least getting new tools and maybe even new armor, but definitely new tools. And I think I'm going to go the Redstone Arsenal route. I haven't done Redstone Arsenal in a very long time in any of my packs lately, so I think it'd be kind of cool to go ahead and play with it. This, by the way, is just a crate full of iron tools that I picked up while I was running out and exploring. And I'm just going to scoot it over here for now. I kept those because I want to melt them back down once we do get our guy here that we're trying to work on. I guess, well, number one, with Redstone Arsenal, we want to start with an induction smelter. So why don't we look into that? We can empty this guy out, by the way. We no longer currently have any excess oil, really. So we can move this probably all the way to the end when it is all said and done. We should look into the induction smelter. So the induction smelter is mostly Invar. Machine frames we already know how to make. We already have everything else we need. We just need to get ourselves some Invar, because we're also going to want a fluid transposer, and we also want to get a magma crucible. So that gets us our 3 machine frames. It sounds like our metals have finished pulverizing, and that gets us 30 Invar. That should be plenty. We'll come back to the glass in a minute. So I think we can get our magma crucible. The magma crucible is going to go right here. And that gets us our fluid transposer. So we will have this guy outputting on the left. We'll have this guy outputting on the right and inputting on the left. So this guy will bleed out into this guy. One other thing that we might want to look into as well is an energetic infuser. We can get the induction smelter now. All the alloys we've been making by crushing our ores crushing our ingots down into blend again and then combining them in the crafting table, that has all been basically antiquated by this guy, because the recipes for this guy allow us to basically refresh most of our blocks that we have, turn them back into something simpler. And our energetic infuser. Alright, so now that we have everything processed, what we can do is grab ourselves these redstone clathrates that I've been getting as I've been mining, these destabilized ones, and you can melt these down in a magma crucible, and you get quite a bit of redstone out of them in return. And what we can do with molten redstone is in our fluid transposer, we can do a lot of stuff that's actually really useful for us. So what I'm most interested in is this recipe right here, is turning electrum blend into fluxed electrum blend, and diamonds into flux crystals, because that's kind of top of our priority right now, is getting ourselves some fluxed gear, which is pretty straightforward, but definitely a fun thing to do. So as you can see, it requires it's going to require the actual blend, electrum blend, not just electrum ingots. So we will have to go back to using our pulverizer one last time for taking all of these into dusts from ingots. But that's not really a huge deal. It could be worse. So I'm going to let those process down. I'm going to toss these in the magma crucible and go ahead and start getting these turned into redstone. Alright, so it is done pulverizing. We are good to go now. So once we get these combined into an electrum blend, we can turn around and toss these in our fluid transposer. So this is going to turn into fluxed electrum blend, which we can then smelt in our induction smelter. So once we turn these into ingots, we can actually go pretty far without needing the obsidian, but we will still need it at some point relatively soon. Plus you have these the flux crystals here combined with flux electrum plates, which we can only make in a compactor, by the way, or a metal press, either one. We need to make a trip to the Nether and fight some blazes. We also need to get more redstone in here. So this guy is completely empty. This guy has 250, so let me do the math as to how much this is going to require, and I'll come right back to you. So one thing worth noting is here in the Nether, it seems as though the option for Quark's random blaze spawning has been disabled. So just an FYI, that's not as easy to get a blaze as you might think. So just thought I'd throw that out there. So I've been running around here in the Nether for long enough. I cannot find anything along the lines of what I'm wanting. Haven't found a Nether fortress at all yet. So I'm just going to call it quits, and what I'm going to do instead, I've discovered there's a different recipe that you can use that seems like it would be a lot easier to use. So I'm going to look at that one instead. It seems like it's more reasonable. Alright, so let's get the process rolling, shall we? This will take a little while, but not too long, actually, fortunately. And I've also been picking up obsidian, as you've seen. So why don't we take some of this and pulverize it down? This will get us 4 obsidian per process. And we will need the pulverized obsidian as well for some various things. So we will get our pulverized obsidian back into this chest, and the pulverized obsidian will go with the blaze powder to make obsidian rod, and then an obsidian rod with 2 diamonds will get us a few more little oddities here and there. So that's kind of our plan. Currently we have a good plan for how to do stuff. So one thing that I want to look into is a way of charging this stuff while we're out and about. So we have, this is all working towards getting ourselves better tools anyways. So we need to get ourselves, 1, 2, at the very least I want to get a sword, shovel, and pick. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need to get 10 diamonds infused here. That will get us a few blaze, and we can get ourselves these guys. And at the very least we can get a pickaxe and a sword. So at first, if you look at these look like really crappy tools. Like this guy barely breaks anything, and the sword is hardly doing any damage. You see it's only doing 2 damage compared to our previous swords and other swords that do way more. It's because they're not charged, so we need to charge them first. See, as soon as I charged it, that bumped up to 6 attack damage, and beyond that it'll actually get even more impressive sooner or later. But as you can see, this guy holds a lot of power. In the meantime, while we wait, because there are a few other things that we can be working on while this is all processing, is I want to get ourselves a battery from Actually Additions. Now we can get ourselves, at the very least, a shovel. So what I want to do is get ourselves an atomic reconstructor. And that guy is not expensive at all. In fact, we can just make one almost immediately. I'm also going to make a redstone torch. You'll see why very soon. And we will need... we already have the iron casings. We've been picking those up as loot randomly. And we can make ourselves the reconstructor just like this. I'm also going to grab wood for a pressure plate. And we can put this guy down right here, I suppose. So let me just grab this pick, please. And you notice that's pretty fast once you get it infused with power. And we can put this down with a pressure plate, and by hitting it with a redstone torch, we have now basically made it so that it will only work whenever you have applied redstone to it. And guess what? We're only applying redstone to it when we throw something on it. So now we can get rid of our search for that, and we can start working on the battery. So the battery, they store a decent amount of RF, but as you can see, we already are storing almost as much as the double battery. So there's it kind of becomes a bit redundant to do some of these at some point, but we'll at least do a double battery, maybe even two of them. We can put these batteries pretty much anywhere. So we can do we should just do two of them. So we'll need 20. We only have 18, so we need two more of these guys. We will want if we want to get two of these, then we need we need 10 redstone. Whoops. And we've been getting a little bit of black quartz here and there anyways, so we're good on the black quartz front. So we want to get ourselves a basic coil. We'll want to wrap that in gold nuggets to get ourselves an advanced coil. We will want to get ourselves the basic battery. We'll want to get two of these single batteries, and we can upgrade the single batteries with more advanced coils. So we'll need to get 8 more redstone, and we'll grab 2 more ingots of gold. I don't know why I did that recipe first. That's not ready yet. We can do that. That, and there we go. We get 2 double batteries, just like that. So this guy is definitely having a struggle getting us power. We are seeing the downfall of our relatively weak sauce power source, but it definitely is working for now. Oh, I just now noticed that the cabinet render what's inside of them. That's cool. Well done. But the nice thing is with these batteries, we can take them and convert them into a bauble version from actually baubles, which means that we can put these anywhere in our baubles slots, which is nice because our bauble slots are actually more valuable than most people think. So the last thing that I kind of forgot to make, but we definitely want to do from Redstone Arsenal, is a hammer. I really want to get one of these hammers. They're not that expensive, actually. We could definitely do that. But I also want to enchant, which is another problem. Because we're running out of diamonds quickly. I think we can do it, but we just have to use our diamonds wisely. So if we grab, because I don't really want to have to keep this guy around for too much longer. We grab ourselves this guy. We can get 2 of those. We already have 5 flux electrum ingots. And that gets us a hammer. And the hammer is really nice to have as well, because then we can go mining really easily with this guy. So I'm going to let all of this stuff charge up a little bit. Actually, you know, there is one thing. There's an augment. I forgot about this. The augment here that I'm looking at is really useful, and it's very affordable. So we'll do flux linkage. That way it's easier to find this guy. So we're going to need some electrum, but that is no problem at all. I think we already have a piece left over, and we'll just make 2 more pieces real quick. And I know I've got blend right here, but I'm actually specifically saving that. And we want to get ourselves, let's see, so we want this guy. We want 2 silver plates. I wonder if you can make silver plates with the forge hammer. Yes, you can. Let's see, we wanted a lead and 2 redstone. And another 2 pieces of redstone. And we need to get an upgrade because this guy cannot do anything until we have. So we already have enough Invar. The bronze should be very easy to get. In fact, we already had some, but I kind of got rid of it. We can make it in here, though. We'll need a piece of iron, 2 pieces of redstone. And this is going to take a huge hit on our power production, but that's okay. It is going to be very well worth it. So that's going to allow our machine to use more power, and this is going to allow us to have an augment. So you see, that guy's already fully charged, which is nice. If I toss this guy in, you see how it almost immediately drained into our sword? That's what we want. What we want is to see that this guy, whenever it does have any power at all, uses it all, dumps all of it, 100% of it, into this guy. So I am just going to sit here and wait, because honestly, that's all we can really do at this point. I can go ahead and make a few more of these guys, but not really all that many of them. And in the meantime, I guess I'll just be waiting for more power to come in from our kind of slow setup. But if it works, it works. So what can I say? It's pretty easy to do nothing, isn't it? So, and plus this is already almost halfway full, so that's not too bad. So while this last guy's charging up, I wanted to do one last thing. You notice that we have vanilla styled tools, so we can actually enchant them, just like vanilla style. Pretty sure that these make just standard bookshelves, I'm hoping, so we'll go for those planks, because I have a lot of them now. But we're going to go ahead and get our enchanting stuff going. So we want to get our enchantment table, and we want to get some books to go with it. Alright, so that's going to make a not great bookshelf, but that's okay. We can offset that with some different planks. And I know that this is way more bookshelves than we need, but I am perfectly okay with that. So, if we hop on over here, we have this nice little area that we've made, and I need to... I guess we don't have to do it here, do we? We could do it anywhere. So why don't we put our enchanting all the way here at the end, and we can do some bookshelves. Maybe just like this. I prefer having an enchantment table like this style more than I like other styles, honestly. And everything will stay lit this way, it looks like, so that's nice. Except for that spot. That might be a problem. I don't know. I think we might just leave it, and it'll be fine. So that gives us level 30 enchantments, which is a very, very good thing. So remember, we had our Akashic Tome with our Tome of Knowledge in it. Now we can get a few things of experience from it. Now I'm trying to figure out how to get only... There should be a way of getting... Auto retrieve stored knowledge. I don't want all 50 of my levels is the problem. We might need to get a tank real quick. Alright, so this was as close as I could get it. I had to store all of my experience in various tanks, as you can see. And I finally, if I right click on this or shift right click, I can get to 32 levels. Not quite as low as I wanted. I like to not waste levels at all. But this is about as good as we can get right now, I guess, which is really dumb. I'm not a fan of this new get all or get none mechanic. It's not a very smart one, in my opinion. But I want to, since we've been storing up all these levels, I want to actually get into enchanting our tools that we have. So let's get to it. Leech 3 does not sound very interesting to me. Insight 3 does. Oh, and it also has holding. Okay. So that stores more experience. A lot more, or not experience, power. That stores a lot more power. Wow. Efficiency 4. Unbreaking and holding. Again, holding seems to be a very common enchantment for these guys. That was a really terrible enchantment, and now I'm questioning if there's a way to get that off of there. There is, but it's not easy. And that's all I got on that one. These are not very good enchantments. I gotta be honest with you. I'm very disappointed. I've also completely drained both of my batteries thanks to all the holding that we've gotten. But that's okay. I think we'll be okay. So I'm going to come over here and pick up all of these again. But yeah, we have definitely been working really hard at getting a lot of new resources and stuff. So all these experience levels we've had are nice. And insight is really cool, but it'll be useful for getting a lot more experience as well. And I was really hoping for fortune, so I might look at how to get fortune, because I think we could definitely do it. So we want to get an arcane and sorcellator for that. I've been kind of considering doing it anyways. So yeah, why don't we make this episode the get all the gear stuff. We have exactly enough obsidian and diamonds to make this, so I think that's probably a sign from the powers above, i.e. Notch, that we should definitely be doing that, because I think that's a pretty perfect fit. So now we can get ourselves 2 constant gears and an arcane and sorcellator at the cost of another flux duct. We can put our reconstructor here. Redstone mode pulse, I think, is the same redstone mode. Looks like it is. This guy's finally almost full. And we can fill this guy up with tomes of knowledge. Fluids. So we want to get fortune. We want to get fortune 3, so we're going to need 4 books of fortune. And fortune. Is this the one that uses emeralds? It is. We have to go get emeralds. Well, that was all for naught, but I guess I'm just going to go get emeralds, call it an episode, and next episode we can get ourselves Fortune 3. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Sorry that it wasn't what I originally said we were going to do, which was getting an automatic sorting system set up, but I think that this option, this route, is a little bit more preferable anyways, as far as the progression that we'll make through the pack and kind of moving along the way that we want to. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one.